Ian, just to make it to the Derby with Burnham Square, I guess talk about those emotions, especially after reviewing the Bluegrass Stakes and the way that he was able to run. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's always good. It's great to get, to the Derby. That's the race everyone wants to win, and it's been just a nice progression for the horse. He's getting better and better each time, and just keep, as I was just saying, putting the building blocks together. Just keep building for the Derby.
Talk about your confidence in him going to this race. Kind of how do you see him faring with the rest of this field?
It's a damn good field, isn't it? Yeah, it's some good horses here, but no, I think he matches up well. His form around the horses coming out of Florida, we're all knocking heads together. I think he compares, and the good thing is, I think a mile and a quarter is right in my wheelhouse.
He closed out the way he did in that race. Do you anticipate kind of a similar run for him this time around?
I like the same result.
We have to be closer to the pace, though, in the Derby because of the bigger field?
It depends on where you draw, depends on a lot of things, you know what I mean? That's where you have to trust your rider, trust your horse, and you'd probably like to see him a little bit closer, but I can't predict that, yeah.
When he won earlier this year at Gulfstream, was that what you expected? Did he surprise you? Is that when you start thinking Derby kind of?
I was actually quite confident in the Holy Bull with him because the horse had trained very well off that maiden win. So I was confident going in there, but you always want to see him do it.
What's different about your job when you have a Derby horse? Is it more stressful? Is it just dealing with this kind of stuff?
Well, no, it means you're doing good. If you guys are coming around bugging, we're doing good. If I don't see you, I'm not doing very good.
What was eye-opening to you about his move in the Bluegrass? Was it just kind of that's what I thought I would see? Did you expect something like that?
I did. I thought he would be. I didn't think I wouldn't be on the board. I thought I'd be on the board, but to run down and make a sustained long run out wide to run down East Avenue was a tremendous effort. And it's probably the first time I've seen this horse quarter up like he did coming out of that race. So I really felt like I got something out of that, what I really wanted.
What do you remember about Unbridled and Street Sense and those days in particular?
Yeah, Unbridled was when I was young. I was galloping him, and it was probably more of a blur, but enjoy. He's just a fun horse. Unbridled. He would switch leads all the time. He'd switch back and forth. He'd get bored. Street Sense, enjoyed it more. Been there before, took it in, enjoyed it, and that's when I'd just taken over from Carl, and Carl handled the press, and talked to him, and I just took care of the horse.
You and Brian obviously bringing in a lot of history in the last year, what he was able to do, and to have him on the saddle. I mean, what does that mean for you guys? What kind of chances do you have with him there?
Yeah, it's anytime you go back to history with Brian and I and the Whithams, all together, back to the Breeders' Cup Classic, and to have Brian, and what he did last year, that was that just showed his ability. Brian, he's a really good rider and a really good horseman.
Ian, you mentioned being a young guy when you galloped Unbridled, but then you and Tracy went back to Australia.
Yeah.
How did it change your career being gone for those years? If you had just stayed here, do you think you'd be where you are now?
I couldn't stay. My visa ran out. I had to leave. No, I'm good. Yeah, no, we had to leave because my visa ran out. So I went home and trained, and I thought it was easy. But that was my best learning curve of my life when I went home and trained. So I thought I could just lead horses over and win, but no. I had horses that I could have got off and ran faster than. And it just shows you that you need the horse. You've got to have the horse.
The last 3 Derby winners were pretty unlikely, I guess you would say. With the size of the field, the distance and everything, how do you deal with kind of the randomness that can come with this race?
You can't worry about all that. You worry about one thing I can control, is my horse. If I can get him 110, he's got to be 110 on the day. You need the luck, you need the breaks. Everything's got to come your way, but that's all you can control. You can't control everything. If you try and worry about everything else, I end up with ulcers. I end up, I end up real old then.
talk about developing these horses and it being a progression, and he's got to move up off Bluegrass. Did you see any little things that maybe we don't even know enough to know what we're seeing in that work today that he's maybe making another move forward?
Yeah, because like I said, coming out of that Bluegrass, it's the first time I ever seen this horse quarter up like he did. I got down deep in this horse. Fitness, you got to get to another level. And he come out of it high as a kite. And I seen going to the pole today, he was a little bit too high going to the pole. I'm glad I worked him because it was only 11 days ago he ran, but I'm glad I let him just stretch his legs because he would have got frustrated, this horse. But I'm seeing a horse he's thriving, he's moving forward, he's improving every time. I'm going to enjoy every day and just have some fun, and hopefully it's my turn.